What's up, D Nation? Welcome back to another 10K Challenge episode. And as promised, once we got under the $200 mark left to go in the 10K Challenge, I was going to show you hand by hand. We had just surpassed that. Did have a little bit of recording going on before, then the audio kind of dropped off, said there wasn't enough disk space to record. So I had to go delete some stuff to get this in here. But right now we are less than $200. We're over $9,800 in the 10K Challenge, and we are going to try to wrap this thing up. So we got some loose people at the table. We can kind of start with the upper left table here. Player 3 is definitely moneymaker. Player 4, player 6 overplays his hands a lot, and then these guys are tied. So. And this guy is kind of tight, so what we're going to do, we're going to try to be a little tricky here. Usually I would raise his hand out of position, and it's a good hand that I can get away from if the ace or king comes. This guy is playing a tighter range. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not folding my hand because the king's there. We're going to check, and if he bets like half pot or something like that, we will look to check raise. And then if he does anything funky, we just dump our queens at this time, and we've invested in, because if he has ace king or anything like that he would call with the 3-bet, then we wouldn't get him out of the way here. So again, there's the little round half pot bet. So we're definitely going to raise this up, and if he comes over the top of us, we can fold our queens very easily. He's either on the club draw, he has this beat, or something like that. So and in here, we're just going to continue. One more bet. He just flat called. So he either has ace king or he's on a draw of some sort. Because we raised him, we have to make this bet, because if we check to him, he can easily bet and take the hand away. So just one more bet we're going to make, and it's just naming our price with the queens. Again, if he has king, queen, or something like that, he's definitely going to call. And if he made his straight, then he's going to call that too. And if he has king jack, he's going to call. And in here we can fold, and with a lot of ease. There's no worries there. It's just unfortunate the queen came. I wished he would have went ahead and tried to. I mean, the way he played his hand, if he didn't have the club draw, then he wasn't protecting his hand, because if we're betting our club draw there very strong, then he can. He's just looking and asking for the bad beat story that he's going to tell everybody. Well, this guy called me down and sucked out on the river from me. But by him just calling like that, he's setting himself up for that. With that club draw being out there, he needs to go ahead and push. And if I call with a club draw, then so be it. I mean, he's not getting around that any form of fashion. There's too many people down here in the pot. So with that hand up there, we actually drop back below the $9,800 mark for hopefully just a little while. We'll see. So let's see, we're about even over here. We're up still over here, and then down here we're up about 84. We're up 64. So yeah, thereabouts. We're down a little bit. If this guy had a bigger stack, I don't mind calling that hand anytime there. Again, we're going to open here. This guy is very loose. There's a lot of flops that we can just bet and take this down post flop against player 5, because he's very passive, but he's been calling a lot. Again, this hand up here, it was totally fine. I mean, if he had king 10 or something like that, then it's a possibility by making one more bet. But we've kind of priced him in. But again, we priced in where if he shoves over the top, we noticed he had 50 left, then we just fold. Whereas if we went ahead and bet like $20 or $25, and then he shoves at 50, then we look at the total pot, what we got left to call, and then we're calling off probably very badly, but just because pot odds is laying us so good there at the very end, we're going to make the call with our second pair to the board, and 2 pair can easily beat us there. And here's that guy again. He's doing all kinds of funky things, and this player 4 is new. So again, we're just going to call. We're not going to get funky and try to get a heads up. Player 6 has been doing a lot of stuff. We have some overs here. So I expect player 3 to bet this board if it's checked to him. And then we can look to maybe check raise and go from there. But he didn't, so that kind of takes away the play that we were looking to do. And surely, goodness, our king high is not good there. We didn't think so. But again, player 3 has been opening up like 8-3 all suit. So, you know, he can have any 2 cards. So if he ever gets, he's not aggressive either. So if he ever late in the hand he gets aggressive, we can pretty much guarantee he's got very close to the nuts at that time. I hadn't really seen him do any kind of crazy bluff either. So very easy person to fold against, and they're very easy to play against. So you can mix in a lot of pots, and then even on the river he gives up a lot. You can usually bet very light and not much at all and pick up pots. So he's giving you a lot of EV to bet your hands at that time. Got us a dead spot. Yeehaw. If you guys hadn't watched the last weekly update, there's some good stuff in that. The question of the week was about playing out of position. So go back and watch the July 6th weekly update. Some good topic there about playing out of position. So again, right here, even with this guy, with our club draw and stuff, I don't mind calling here because we know we're getting double. This guy's going to definitely call. And I don't think player 1, he'd have to have a strong hand, so we'll definitely, and if this guy ever does anything funky, we can get out of the way. But because of that, and if we ever hit a strong hand there, we're going to get double paid off versus probably just single. So we can easily dump the hand here, but if we hit anything strong, we know we're going to make money from the both of these because this guy will call off with 3rd and 4th pair. And then if this guy's playing a stronger hand, where if we flop something pretty strong, then we can definitely stack him too, I think. And we kind of hope that player 3 actually gets it here and is jacks. Oh, thought he had spade for a second. So, and that's just a tough hand for player 3. I mean, he's been playing really bad, and he finally gets a decent hand, and he's just not going to fold. And it's just fortunate for player 4, but, you know, player 3 was the biggest money maker at the table. So he is gone, and we'll just keep our eye on player 4. And like I said, player 6 is pretty selective in his hands, and you know, raising his hands, he's been raising his good ones and limping in with his like suited connectors and things like that. So we have flopped the nut over here, and we have a club draw. So because we have the bottom end club draw, we are going to be betting here, and we're going to be betting close to pot. And I would assume we'll keep in any other draw. Unfortunately, nobody had anything, so we just got a big blind special where we just picked up a bunch of antes where we can make some continuation bets and take down some of these pots. New person at the table, he's posted out of position. So this is not this is a hand that I don't mind going ahead and trying to take up the blinds. And if we do get called and we're out of position, it's not bad. So if this guy actually bets here and tries to bet like 450 or something, then we definitely will try to even re-steal past him. And the good thing is if we do get called and we flop anything, we don't really have to worry about them having us beat at that time. So with the all clubs, we'll see. I mean, the guy kind of called, so we can usually bet this. And if he does anything crazy, we just kind of get out of the way. But with him just posting and then calling, he can have anything. And if he has like the king or ace of clubs, he's probably doing this same play. Doesn't mean he really has anything at this point. They're just going to push their club draws. So we're going to still bet most of the flops that come out. And because it's all clubs, unless they have a club in their hand, we can usually pick that one up. So unfortunately, we keep going down, down, down over here. We're getting some decent hands and playing. So here's our guy that we ended up getting part of the money from earlier. And then the pocket nines is just a hand sometimes that, and if this guy over here would have done like really crazy raise. Just so I see this all the time. Really bad players. And we'll just see if we can pick this up. We may not if he has like another pocket pair. If he gets real crazy, then we can just get out of the hand. But it's a good chance that we're picking this pot up most of the time. And again, we don't really want to see many more cards over those jacks that is going to really crush our hand. This guy's been playing a lot of pots and he's been very aggressive. So here I don't mind floating, and you know, never know, we can hit this, but I don't think he has an ace, and if he double barrels, that's great. The club comes, which could make him slow down a lot at that time, and if he fires off big again, it just means that he's not worried about the club draw for one, and he has an ace, or he was on the club draw himself. So he does check. And we're going to put in a time in bet here to see if we can maybe get him to fold. And thing is, we still have an out to maybe hit a club, or we can hit our 9. And if he shoves over us here, we just know he was on the club draw and he was checking to us. And the other tables look like they're dead right now, so... And that's what we were looking to do. I mean, that call because there was clubs, that's the two reasons we wasn't just calling because we had pocket 9s. We were, one, maybe not believing he had an ace and he was trying to just dunk bet into us. And then two, we were looking for in later streets, can we take this pot down in some other way? And, you know, we were looking at maybe the clubs coming in, which it did, and he checked. So, you know, it gives us time to make that play. And if it doesn't work, then we move on. But it's a play that, you know, biggest percentage of the time we can get some people to fold out if they can fold. Sometimes you get idiots who can't fold. And a queen jack hand offsuit is a great hand just because it's a small pot. Don't mind. And flopping hands like this, open-ended draws is, you know, we can push it and we actually have position. So if somebody bets here like $5, we can easily just call, you know. There's no reason to really raise. These guys are both short. We're going to get it in. So, you know, if the king comes, we definitely have the nut at that time. And if an 8 comes, we got the nut there too. I'm only going to call here because I think we're going to get player 4 or 6 to call with us. And if I'm wrong, then we'll just hopefully we'll still got our draw. We got equity in the hand. And if anybody shoves on us here, we can get away. And look at that miracle card on the river. So we pretty much got the nut. It's either we're splitting it or we have the winner. So he bets 38. 15 gets it in. There's no reason to sandbag here against him. So either it's a split-a-roo or he's got a set of some sort. And so we just split it up. And we're going to split his money over here. We did play a higher rake, but again, if he has 10-9 or something like that, or a set, I think we're still going to get his money at that time. Trying to think if we want to keep these kind of broken up in smaller segments, since we're hand for hand kind of going down the thing, and kind of release them out over the next few days. I think that's what we're going to do. All right, guys, so we're going to call it quits on this episode of the Hand by Hand 10K Challenge, and we'll see you tomorrow.